With EVgo stations like this one here in Santa Monica, we own and operate these chargers, which means that we have a really strong incentive, like you, to have the chargers working.
EVgo has been one of the most reliable DC fast charging companies that I've experienced since 2014. And today they're opening a new charging station in Santa Monica with a bunch of DC fast chargers. And they're going to be offering free ice cream, which is the main reason why I'm driving all the way to Santa Monica. Let's check out what they have to offer in Santa Monica and talk some more about DC fast charging. I'm here in Santa Monica with John from EVgo. And hi, John.
How's it going, Kes?
Good, how you doing?
Great.
So in my experience, EVgo has been really reliable. Later on, when like Electrify America came online, when I would go, a lot of times there'd be at least one station that wasn't working. But for whatever reason, EVgo, I've had a lot better experience. Is that something with the types of chargers you guys use? Do you just come out real quick when you hear something that is wrong with a charger? How does that work?
Yeah, it's a great question because there's a lot of different business models for operating charging stations. With EVgo stations like this one here in Santa Monica, we own and operate these chargers, which means that we have a really strong incentive, like you, to have the chargers working. You want the charger to be on so it can work for you. We want it to be on because if it's broken, we miss an opportunity to generate revenue. And plus, we've been doing this for over a decade, so we have a lot of experience, deploying great technology, but also operating, maintaining it, sending out techs to fix things, having a 24/7 operation center to monitor the heartbeat. But in addition, we opened up an EVgo Innovation Lab in El Segundo to really test the hardware and the software, as well as interoperability testing with the vehicle.
When I started in 2014 driving EVs, most places had like maybe two stations, one or two stations.
Yep.
And now, like with this, how many do we have here?
So this is a great example of how the market has moved, right? In the early days, you probably, if most people had a Leaf or they had an i3, and it was probably their second car, or they were more likely to have a garage. So one or two stations was really all you needed because there were fewer vehicles, and people were using them kind of as an insurance product to use out in the wild. Now there are a lot more EVs. You can see we've already got 3 different models here today. Yeah. There's a Taycan, there's a Niro, there's a Bolt, and so there's a lot more offerings today, as well as more people driving more. And so now you have these stations like this where you can see we've got 400 kilowatt charging stations and another 4 350 kilowatt capable. So that's 8 charging stalls that we can charge 8 vehicles simultaneously here and really be able to help people move and get back on the road with EVgo.
This is a new location here. Why this particular parking lot, and then why Santa Monica in general?
Yeah, great question. So EVgo now has more than 850 fast charging locations around the country. Obviously, California is where around half of the EVs in the U.S. are sold today. And Santa Monica is actually one of the communities in California where there's a really high population of owners and renters in multifamily housing. Right? There are a lot of people in Santa Monica in apartment buildings without access to parking, or that have parking but no access to charging. And there's not a lot of charging around here. And so it's been one of those priority markets for us for a long time, not just because we're a hometown company just up the road in Los Angeles, but also because it makes sense. Additionally, we've worked with the city of Santa Monica as a partner. This is a city parking lot, and so we worked with them to be able to put charging in. They wanted to have it as an amenity. We are able to provide it without them having to outlay capital or taxpayer resources. And so now we have this win-win where between lot 27 here, lot 29 up the road, there's now a lot of fast charging in Santa Monica to serve a pretty high penetration of electric vehicles. Teslas, Ford Mach-E's, Bolts, Leafs, there's a lot of EV drivers around Santa Monica.
I mean, that's great because I live in an apartment. I feel like it'd be great to have these closer to places that have a lot of apartments. Because of that, like a lot of places like my place, I can't charge where I live. So being able to come to a place like this is really awesome and get, top off or just get most of my charging done at a place like this because I can't charge where I live.
Yeah,
so,
we agree.
Yeah.
I mean, EVgo believes really strongly in electric for all, and so that means people that might want to top off who have charging elsewhere, people that don't have access to any other charging, as well as fleet drivers, right? EVgo has partnerships with Uber and Lyft, and so for example, I don't know if you've seen Uber Green lately, but there's a lot more EVs in the Uber Green platform, and we want to make sure that those drivers have access to charging all around town, since rideshare drivers tend to drive 3 to 7 times as many miles as you and I do.
All right, yeah. I saw on your Instagram that now some of your newer chargers are going to be being able to recognize GM Ultium cars. So my Bolt is a 2017. So with this, it's not like backwards compatible, right? It's with the new.
No, right now, I mean, I don't know if you tried using the auto charge capability when you did this session, but we have worked with General Motors so that your Bolt can plug in and EVgo, it can recognize your account. Now, you have to sign up and enroll in auto charge to make sure that it's not somebody else taking your vehicle and doing it, and we link it to your account. But We have the ability today with General Motors to do that, and we're working to continue to expand that access and that offering for more drivers.
Oh, that's awesome. I just learned something new right now. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I thought it might have just been with the newer Ultium battery kind of
No,
thing,
it's that and beyond. Oh, let me get out of the way of the Nero.
All right. Thank you so much, John. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, thank you to John for taking the time to talk to me. I think it's really cool that EVgo had in mind people who live in spots where they can't charge where they live, because that's exactly where I'm at. I am lucky in that there are chargers near where I live. It's still a little bit of a hassle. The one that has the most amount of chargers where I can level 2 charge overnight is 2 miles away. So it'd be nice to have something closer. What they did here in this parking lot, I hope this becomes a more common thing, because we're gonna need more charging stations all around, because EVs are coming. New gas-powered cars aren't gonna be able to be sold in a lot of countries and a lot of states coming up in 10 or so years. So I'm glad EVgo is getting a start on that. I hope that in my location we get some more fast chargers there, and I hope just all around the nation this kind of parking lot happens.